Okay. I got some funny Russian gulag jokes, a couple of them. Okay, there's these three men. They were sent to the gulag, three Russians sent to a gulag, and they're talking to each other, and they get talking about why they were sent to the gulag. One says, "Well, I was sent here because I came in early to work at the factory, and I was accused of trying to put myself ahead of my fellow worker, making everybody else look bad." Right? Well, why were you here? And he said, "Well, I was sent for being late for going to work at the factory, and I was accused of delaying the revolution," the second said. And went to the third, what was your crime?" Said, "Well, I was on time for work and I was still sent here." "Well, why would they send you here for being on time?" They said, "They accused me of owning a Western watch." "You must have a good watch. You off you go to the gulag." You know, men are like spiders. We tend to have sticky fingers after being on the web. Yeah, okay. Here's a longer
that's
one.
definitely me.
Yeah. A cop stops a car for speeding and he asks the driver's name, right? And Fred, says the driver. "Well, Fred what?" asked the officer. He said, "It's just Fred." Right? The man responds. And the officer presses him for his last name. And the man tells him he used to have a last name, but he lost it. The officer thinks he must have a nutcase in his hand, but decides to play along. He says, "Tell me, Fred, how'd you lose your last name?" The man replies, "Well, it's a long story, but stay with me. I was born Fred Dingaling. I know it's a funny last name, right? The kids used to tease me all the time. So I stayed to myself. I studied hard, got good grades. And when I got older, I realized I wanted to be a doctor. I went through college, right? Medical school, internship, residency. I finally got my degree, and I was Fred Dingaling, MD. And after a while, I got bored with being a doctor, so I went to school, and dentistry was my dream, right? So I got all the way, got my degree. So now I was Fred Dingaling, MD, DDS. I got bored with dentistry, so I started fooling around with my assistant, and she gave me VD. So I was Fred Dingaling, MD, DDS with VD. Well, the ADA found out about the VD, so they took away my DDS. So I was Fred Dingaling, MD, with VD. Then the AMA found out about the A taking away my DDS because of the VD, so they took away my MD, leaving me as Fred Dingaling with VD. Then the VD took away my Dingaling. Now I'm just Fred. Mouse is Dingaling.
Yeah.
That was a long way to go for that joke. Only Tinker laughed at that one. I thought it was pretty good.
I thought it was
All right.
pretty good.
Yeah, okay. This guy I know, he
Well,
owns a...
I laughed, but my mic wasn't on. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Oh my God. Yeah. You know what?
Keith came in.
We've been having so many sound problems lately, though. I mean, Why Not was shouting last night, like, "Can't anybody hear me?" And we were all shouting back, "We can hear you." Everyone was saying it. And Why Not just gets pissed off, is going, "That's fine. Nobody wants to talk to me. I'm going home," right? It's like, no, we can really hear you. You couldn't hear us because voice was not working properly. You know? Blame it on Second Life whenever something like that happens. And if any of my jokes really, really bomb terribly, blame that on Second Life too.
Yeah.
Blame that on Second
You
Life.
blame everything on Second Life. Who
Yeah,
gives a shit?
just blame everything. It's like if your marriage has gone to shit, blame that on Second Life. If someone says, "Hey, when are you going to pay us that loan you owe us?" Second Life is all fucked up, man. Go take it up with them. You know? Yeah, right. Yeah, Second Life. "You're cheating on me." Second Life. You know? Yeah. My grades are shit. If I was in school, my grades would probably be shit. And I would be blaming Second Life for that because I'd just be here all the time, not studying. Okay. Here's a joke. A guy I know claims to have a pencil which once belonged to William Shakespeare, but he chewed on it so much it's impossible to tell, is it a to be or not to be? You know? Let's see. Now here's another gulag joke, right? A woman wrote to her husband in the gulag, said, "Vladimir, my love, I'm feeling pretty bad because it looks like I won't be able to plant the potato gardens this year. I'm just too weak to be digging up the garden plot. If only you were here, my troubles would be over. I know you would love to dig the plot for me. Love, Maria." A few days later, she received a letter from her husband. "Dearest Maria, not for nothing, but don't dig up that garden. That's where I buried all the gold bars that we stole from the Nazis at the end of World War II. Love, Vlad." Well, the next day at 4 a.m., the KGB arrived. They dig up everything. They dig up the whole area, but they don't find any gold, so they just gave up and left. That same day, Maria received another letter from her husband saying, "Dear Maria, go ahead and plant the potatoes now. That's the best I could do under the circumstances." That's pretty cute. And the last joke I have for tonight is a very short one. Now, this is a cute one, actually. This is really cute. I haven't heard this one before, but this is from like a little child told this joke. This is like a little 8-year-old joke, all right? How does the gingerbread man make his bed?
Oh.
Why not might get this one? If you say it, it's okay.
Not gonna say it.
Okay, you're not going to say it.
Last week.
Okay, with a cookie sheet.
Mm.
Isn't that adorable?